Three guys walk into a bar.
Welcome back, bar crawlers. Woo. We are three guys walking to a bar, and as always, I'm Rob.
I'm Charlie.
And I am Nathan.
I want to get started today, guys. We have another wonderful listener email. Today it's from Paul from Portland, so all the way across this great nation, oceans, things of that nature. So, Paul.
Across the oceans?
Bonjour to you, Paul.
It is not across oceans.
Bonjour to you, Paul. Paul asked us an interesting question. If you could turn into any sort of object, what object would you become? So you're still
What?
So we're talking Beauty and the Beast style.
Beauty and the Beast style. So your life still exists. You are who you are, but you are now just an object.
Why can't we ever get an easy question?
Because
Where's your favorite place?
Interesting topics from us.
Where's your favorite place that you've traveled?
they don't care about that. They don't want to.
cares about
no
that.
one cares. Charlie, let's start with you. What did you have?
Knowing me in any way, shape, or form, it's pretty self-explanatory. My object would be a PlayStation 4 controller.
Why
but then you're getting mashed all day.
Yeah, why the controller?
Sweaty hands.
Randomly going to shake if something hits you?
Oh, I love Rumble. Rumble would be awesome. No, I think that epitomizes me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, yeah,
Or,
that
like,
fits you.
That's like my lifestyle. It's like I'm
so
a gamer.
So you went with like, what would I be as
Right,
as a
exactly,
person? Okay.
exactly.
Oh.
Because when I thought about Beauty and the Beast, what did they turn into? One of my first things was, did they turn into something that pertained to what they were, or did they just turn into something random? And that's why I was like, it didn't seem like, because like the two like butlers were a candelabra and a clock, and those really don't pertain to being a butler at all. So that's why I was like, it's not really anything specific. So it's like, okay, well, you can be anything. So why wouldn't I be something that I
guess.
No, makes sense.
use every day?
Makes
you know?
sense. Nathan, what'd you come up with?
So my thought process was like something that I'd actually physically want to be.
Okay.
So my first thought was, it would be great to be like a thing at a sporting event, just because I'd want to be front and center to everything. My first thought.
Chair? Are you going to be a chair?
I imagine
Well, no.
him being a foam finger. Sorry.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. My first thought was a goalpost.
Okay.
But then you get to see eight games, maybe 8+ games a year. But then the other time you're in storage, and I just wouldn't want to be stuck in storage the whole time.
But you can talk and you're you, so you could probably ask the
Yeah, you could
groundskeeper
walk around.
Yeah, that's true.
to like turn the game on the
That's
big
true.
screen when they're away.
That's true. That's
Yeah, you're
actually
an
not a
inanimate
bad
object
idea.
at that point.
The only downside is, like, let's say if I was at a place like Lucas Oil Stadium, like Adam Vinatieri might doink one off me a few times a year.
Better than Vanderjack not hitting you at all.
But then I was like, you know what? I was like, maybe something on the water. So I was like, a jet ski, no, that'd be too rough. A yacht would be cool, but like people would be walking on me. So I finally decided.
Well, lots of cocaine probably done off you on that.
Exactly.
I have so many hookers.
I finally decided on a watch.
A watch.
A watch.
A watch,
I
okay.
would be my own type of smartwatch where you can just
Oh.
I just hang around with somebody all day. They'll ask me useless questions and I might not know the answer, but at least I got someone to talk to.
And you're the first person to know when someone messages them.
Exactly.
Oh man.
That's a pretty good one. I like
Yeah.
that.
I do like
that.
It's
that.
simple, but I think it works.
So there two things were really important to me. Number one, how was I going to walk?
Okay.
So was I going to be something with legs that could walk like a human? Because if I was something that's just like a square, like a book, I then have to do standing jumps everywhere I go, which sounds tiring.
Yeah.
So, because at first I think being a remote control would be cool. So I could always hit pause, play,
Just
rewind,
screw
fast
with
forward.
whoever owns
Oh,
you.
absolutely. Just totally mess with them. But then I also thought about like, man, like that sounds boring because you're just there the whole time, that kind of thing. Then I thought about what about being a musical instrument? Because then I could always have my own theme music playing all the time.
As long as you don't have band camp.
Not Bandcamp. Not Bandcamp. I was thinking like a sing. Oh gosh, like a sing. Like what if I was like an organ, but then I'd be stuck in one area.
Yeah.
So I'm
it's
not
too
sure.
big.
I'm not sure on that one either. So I actually kind of broke it down, and at the end, I actually decided on the remote control.
Okay.
I did.
Went back to your original.
I did.
Went
After
with your gut.
I went through a few other options, and I thought the remote control, just the idea of hitting pause, play, rewind, fast forward, and plus, people fight for you at the house.
You're not wrong.
If there's
That's
like,
true.
oh,
See, but you also get lost a lot.
you do get lost on the couch cushions, but there's popcorn in there.
Not my couch cushions.
There's some maybe lint. Lint would be cool.
I imagine lint would be a good companion. I don't
really know. But brothers and sisters are always like, "Who's got the remote? Who's got the remote?" Like you feel wanted then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so,
That's good.
So I like
I
that
like
one.
that. I like
So Paul,
It's the same vein as mine.
yes. So Paul, thank you so much for the awesome question. Fans, bar crawlers out there, please send in any question. We read them. We want to chat with you. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, review. Follow us on social media. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. We're on YouTube. If you do want to email us, it is 3menwalkintoabar, the number 3, menwalkintoabar@gmail.com. A couple weeks ago, we did overrated actors, and we all learned who Timothée Chalamet was. That was great.
Yeah, he's just some douche in a movie, right?
Some douche in a movie.
You betcha. You betcha.
But we don't want to leave the ladies out. It's time for their time to shine. For the I guess they don't want to be on this list, but we're putting them on the list. It's time to discuss some of the overrated actresses of our world. Nathan, let's see if you can top Timothée Chalamet, or
Okay,
did he make
well-
this list as well?
You both should know both of these actresses. I'm going to say one that's like a little bit less of an offender is Jessica Chastain.
You know what?
I mean, she doesn't offend me. It's just kind of like, oh, she's in it. Oh, okay.
You know, the way she looks doesn't offend me either.
Well, no, no. But the one that I'm not as passionate about as Timothée Chalamet, but one that I am fairly passionate about is Anne Hathaway.
Oh,
I can't stand Anne Hathaway. Anything she's in, I think, kind of lessens a movie. I think she is just very. It's hard to say exactly. It's hard to put a finger on it. But I mean, she's won 1 Oscar for Les Mis.
Okay. See, I
And
would never have known that.
I wouldn't either.
The scene she's in is great. However, I think you take that one scene away, and it's just a lot of. I will tell you, Interstellar, which I think is a really good movie, is a very hard watch for me because it has both Jessica Chastain and Anne Hathaway.
I think I need to watch more Anne Hathaway movies because the only thing I think of her when I think of her is Get Smart.
That's such a good movie.
I like that movie.
I
a
will
lot.
say that's one of my favorite roles.
See,
of
my
hers.
my big Anne Hathaway ones were Love and Other Drugs. Was a really
yeah.
It's like a dramedy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Very good. I think she did a fantastic job in that. But then I think of her as Catwoman in the new Batman, and I'm like, she didn't do terribly.
The most recent thing I saw her in was a movie that came out last year with Rebel Wilson.
That sounds terrible already.
It is legitimately one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's called It's not The Heist. It's a heist movie.
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it.
I can't remember it either.
So there's a name I'm going to say that I'm not counting as part of my list. But if Melissa McCarthy and Rebel Wilson ever did a movie together, I would genuinely vomit in my mouth.
I love Melissa McCarthy.
She's awful.
No, you're wrong.
She just yells. She's like Chris Farley, but not funny. She just yells. That's all she does.
The Hustle.
No,
Oh,
God,
that's
yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah,
It's legitimately one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
See, I think Melissa McCarthy is hilarious.
Oh gosh, you're gross. I'm judging you.
Especially in like Bridesmaids and shit.
No.
Bridesmaids is like one of my top 10 favorite comedies.
Really?
It's so funny,
It's
man.
funny, but I don't know if I'd put it that high.
It's so good.
It has like all the people that I don't think are really that funny.
Yeah, because you're not a Kristen Wiig fan either.
Kristen Wiig's not funny. Maya Rudolph's not funny.
What is wrong with you?
Like all
What
of
is
these.
wrong with you?
I'm sorry. You guys can. The era of SNL that's like 2003 to like 2008 when all these people were huge is gross.
But that stuff some people regard as the best since like it first started.
Absolutely.
Gross.
I mean, we've already established that I don't watch SNL that much. But
Bill Hader, Fred Armisen, Andy Samberg. I mean, Kristen Wiig I love. Who else? I mean, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler.
Oh, no, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler I like.
Oh, okay.
We got some. We got a few.
I like those two. It's another group that I'm like, no, thank you. So, Charlie, who do you hate? Who are we putting down today?
I have 3. The biggest one on my list, and I don't think you guys will disagree in any way, is Amy Schumer.
Oh, she's awful.
I just can't stand her.
I don't disagree with that.
You disagree?
I don't disagree.
Okay, yeah.
No, yeah.
I just cannot stand her. I won't watch a movie if she's in it.
See, I don't put her on someone that I consider was top rated, so I never.
That's true.
Fair.
I never. Thought of her.
But there are so many people who love her.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand.
We're judging all of you right now if you love her. If you're sitting there and listening and going, oh, they don't like her, yeah, that's a you problem.
You're wrong. The other 2 on my list were and I was talking about this earlier. Some of the movies that she's in are good, but Angelina Jolie.
See, I just don't. She's another one I don't judge. She's just like.
She was big in the early 2000s, but I think she's very accurately rated.
Which is not good. Yeah.
Really? I think everyone's like middle high on her. She's like a medium. If well done is like the top of the celebrity likability, I think she's medium well.
She's a steak now.
Yeah. Oh boy, we're comparing women to pieces of meat.
No, this podcast.
I did not start this conversation.
I didn't mean to do that. That was a completely not intentional.
Way to go.
I'm sorry.
The
sorry,
only other
everybody.
one on my list that I think might make some waves, just because I just don't, I haven't liked a lot of the stuff she's been in, is Charlize Theron.
Whoa!
This
Big
is a hot
disagree.
take.
Big
Hot
disagree.
take.
Yeah, that's what I knew that was going to be the one to make waves.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, Charlize Theron is amazing. What is the matter with you?
I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
I don't know what to say to you. I don't.
What do you guys think of Streep?
I love Meryl Streep.
I mean, but would you say she's overrated though? Everyone loves Meryl Streep.
They think she's great, but
I think she's fantastic. I wouldn't say she's overrated.
Hey Charlie, name me 5 movies Meryl Streep is in right now.
I'm not good at this anyway.
No one knows.
I couldn't name you 5 movies off the top of my head that Paul Rudd is in.
Oh, really?
Really? That's easy. That's an easy question. Like he's in like 4 Marvel movies, so then you got 4
and
right
then
there.
Just add Clueless. Yeah. That's the one I go to. It's Clueless. Yes. But Meryl Streep is in a lot of highly rated movies. But name one that all of you people are like, I want to watch this movie, and she's in it. You can't. You just can't.
I just don't know.
Yeah, that's
the only one that pops to mind was because it was in a YouTube video I watched earlier today, and I believe she was in Mamma Mia.
Gross.
Wasn't she?
Yeah, she's in Mamma Mia.
Okay.
And Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again.
Why you know the title offhand of that movie?
The second one's better, by the way.
Someone send an SOS to save this area. But she's also in was The Devil Wears Prada, which also is Anne Hathaway?
Yeah, that was Anne Hathaway.
Oh my gosh, that's that's the movie you'd hate the most, Nathan.
No, I love Streep.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I was just saying. I was asking if you thought she was overrated.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't think she's overrated. I think she's rated just what she's supposed to be.
Fair enough.
The greatest actress of all time.
I wouldn't consider the greatest.
That's what she's considered all the time.
Yeah, that's what we're
really?
saying. Though.
Yeah,
That's what we're saying.
Oh, I mean, I would consider her a top tier actress, but I wouldn't say. I mean, personally, I wouldn't put her as the greatest actress of all time.
If we're talking about older actresses, give me Maggie Smith as like the top of the top before you give me Meryl Streep.
She's great.
You don't know who she is.
Who's Maggie Smith?
Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter.
You know, I know that person's face.
She plays old Wendy in Hook.
And she's in Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey.
I've never watched Downton Abbey.
I haven't either, but she's in it.
She's in it.
You got a real Southern accent.
I really did on
that
that one. So I had 2 written down. One I'm gonna take away because whatever. The first one I had was Reese Witherspoon.
Absolutely awful.
But Walk the Line, she was fine. That's all I got.
Like I said, especially for Angelina Jolie, for me, some movies are good, but overall,
when I looked up some lists for inspiration, there are some people on there that like they say they're overrated actresses, but I'm like looking at it, I'm like, they're not even rated. They're just on there for good looks. So like Megan Fox,
Absolutely.
get off my list. You're not rated. But the one person that really kind of grinds my gears and I just can't stand, Jennifer Aniston. Yep.
How dare you?
No one can see right now, but our producer is giving me this like, what the hell did you just say look?
She's in Friends.
Okay. And including Friends.
You know what? I'm gonna come to Rob's defense.
Yes.
I think I agree. Everyone adores Jennifer Aniston, and you just look at what she's done and been in. It's
The same.
the same.
I think my biggest issue with this argument is that Jennifer Aniston reminds me so much of my mother.
Okay.
I used to watch Friends with my mom when I was a kid, and they look very similar.
I need to meet your mom.
I'm gonna pull up a picture right now.
Please do. But no, for Jennifer Aniston, she's just the same thing in every movie where she's with a guy, they get into fights all the time, and eventually they're going to get together or they won't. That's her entire Friends storyline with Ross and Rachel. And after a while, now all she does is just hang out with Adam Sandler and make bad comedy movies. Oh, she kind of does. You're right.
Oh wow, yeah, I see it.
See,
That counts. I need to meet her sometime.
she's awesome. I love my mother.
So all you actresses had your day in the sun. That's great and dandy. But just
Make room for more people.
make room for more people. Jennifer Aniston, just get off my movies. Get off my movies. So such the popularity of the chicken sandwich showdown that we had.
It went so well.
It was so good. We love fast food. We're fatties. It's delicious. It's
We
wonderful.
are. It's
So
the best.
we are going to put together our perfect day of fast food each. So we all picked a breakfast, lunch, dinner with dessert. And each meal had to be at a different fast food place establishment.
Because knowing me, all 3 meals would be at Taco Bell, and that's just not fair.
I'm going to surprise you here. I don't have a single Taco Bell thing on this
That's-
thing.
Me neither.
I can't believe that. That is shocking to me.
I can't believe that after I wrote everything down.
Wow.
So we're going to start with breakfast, and we'll go around the table here. Let's start with Nathan. Nathan, what breakfast did you bring aboard here?
I will say that I had this list down pat this morning, and then I ate Taco Bell for lunch, and it changed everything. So I originally had Taco Bell as my breakfast, which
is a great breakfast.
the crunch wrap?
Yes, the steak crunch
okay.
wrap.
Yes.
Which is phenomenal. Is the best breakfast food item you can get. But then I was disappointed because I couldn't use them later. But then I'm spoiler alert, going to be using them later from what I got just a few hours ago. So my breakfast place now is actually Chick-fil-A.
Ooh.
The number
biscuit?
2. Well, no, the number 2 I believe is what it is. It comes on these honey rolls.
they're honey.
Which
Yeah.
is like chicken nuggets. You get like a 4-pack, and I don't get the hash brown. I just get 2 4-packs of those. Oh man, they are so good. They're sweet. They're savory.
yeah.
It is the best. Maybe dip it in some honey. Oh,
I have never had Chick-fil-A breakfast.
it's very
It's
good.
so good.
Is it? Okay. I'm very excited one day.
I almost pick Hardee's as well. They have really good breakfast too.
Hardee's is a great one.
Spoiler alert. We're just going to head and lead into that one for you. My choice here is Hardee's has the best biscuits that you can find when it comes to breakfast.
Hardee's breakfast biscuits are so good.
So I went
Super flaky.
Oh, absolutely. And I decided to go into just full heart attack mode. So I went with the Hardee's pork chop and gravy biscuit sandwich.
That sounds fantastic.
It is a
Whoa.
fried pork chop on biscuit sandwich style, and it has just a wonderful ladle of gravy in between the buns there. And
I love how the portion size is a ladle of gravy.
Well, absolutely, yeah. How else are you supposed to? How else do you get gravy out?
A smothering of gravy? I don't know.
It doesn't smother the whole top. They actually put it just on top of the chop, and then they place the top biscuit portion ever so lightly on the bottom,
gently,
delicately, and then they give it to me with a smile, and it warms my heart.
That's what I love about Hardee's. They always serve you with a smile.
They really Hardee's and Chick-fil-A are the only 2 places I know where you can never find a disgruntled worker.
Oh, my dinner place you can't as well. But we'll
Ooh,
save it.
a spoiler. Okay.
So we'll jump into my breakfast.
I'm excited.
And my breakfast is a Qdoba breakfast burrito.
Oh, so good.
So good. With the eggs and potatoes
Yeah.
and getting chorizo. Oh, so
Sounds
good.
really good.
It's a great choice.
I just never am up early enough
Right.
to go get it. That's my issue.
Thankfully, my wife sometimes gets a craving after work, and she gets off at 7:30, 7:45 in the morning.
Because she's a nurse.
She's a nurse, and then she just stops right by the Qdoba by our house, and
Oh.
sometimes I'll wake up around,
my goodness.
and there's just Qdoba breakfast in the fridge
Waiting for you.
waiting,
Oh.
beckoning me to
You're
eat
living
it.
the life.
Oh.
Oh, so good.
So that is my perfect start to a day.
That's a great start. That's a great start. So far, this sounds wonderful. Nathan, where are we going for lunch?
So I almost went with a sub shop. I ended up not. My original lunch was going to be a Popeye's chicken sandwich because I think it is the best chicken sandwich.
We've already discussed
But
that it is.
Yes, yes, we officially decided a couple weeks
Scientifically,
ago.
we have
Right.
decided.
But because I originally had Taco Bell for breakfast, I instead went with a chicken place. I decided to replace my lunch with Taco Bell, which my go-to meal is what I had a few hours ago, cheesy gordita crunch. It is the best fast food menu item out of any fast food place ever. And then because I'm in love with Taco Bell and very, very hungry when I go there and fat, I get a steak
You can never get
quesadilla.
one thing at Taco Bell.
I
That's
know.
not how it works.
I get a steak quesadilla as well, and maybe if I'm feeling up for it, a cheesy roll-up. If I'm good that day.
Could you imagine the amount of food you could get if someone gave you a 50 and said you can only order food, but you have to spend all $50 at this Taco Bell? Wow.
Their most expensive thing is like $4.
Yeah, like
$5.
that's what I say. Like, could you imagine what
You get
could,
so much food. You
Oh,
wouldn't eat.
it'd
You
be
couldn't
so
eat
good.
it all. There's no way.
You could probably survive like 2 weeks, easy.
On $50 for
Yeah.
for Taco Bell? Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, even though the cheesy gordita crunch is not on my list, I did say earlier, and I stand by it, it is my favorite fast food item as well. But for some reason, other items came up for the moment, for the day that I was
Wow.
going to have. But I wanted to save the glory for you.
I couldn't not leave the cheesy gordita crunch off.
So good. So good. So for me to go to lunch, we have to drive about 3 hours away from here and head down to the southern region. If anyone here has ever been to a Bojangles chicken shop,
It's the most southern sounding restaurant name.
it's so good though, man. Like
Y'all ever been to Bojangles?
that's kind of what it is. Yep.
It's delicious.
It's the wonderful, glorious chicken tenders from there. They have bow rounds, which is their tater tots, of course, and then they have bow sauce, which is like this horseradishy, creamy, sweet. It's just a wonderful.
I love anything horseradish.
Oh, it's so good.
That sounds really
dip
good.
everything, and of course, it always comes with a biscuit, and their biscuit is as good as every southern restaurant biscuit.
I mean, it's a southern biscuit.
Oh,
You can't go wrong
So
there.
good. So it is worth the 3 hour drive.
Okay, fair enough. My breakfast place was Jersey Mike's, and it's their Philly cheesesteak.
Wait, breakfast. Wait, lunch
Or lunch, sorry. Lunch
Oh,
place.
yeah,
My
I was
lunch
like- I
place.
was like, Jersey Mike's has
See-
breakfast? I want
Right, I
this.
wish.
Jersey Mike's is the best sub place.
Jersey Mike's is the best Philly in the Carmel area.
See, I think Jersey Mike's is the best cold sub place.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had a cold
their,
sub from
their
Jersey
number
Mike's.
9, the Club Supreme, is my go-to, and it is legitimately the best sub I've
Dude,
ever had.
they
in my life.
doused it in oil and vinegar, and it's just so.
Yeah,
the seasoning's
Mike's Way?
So,
Ooh.
so
Yeah,
great,
Mike's
so
Way
great.
with like their secret sauce or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've never gotten a cold sub from Jersey Mike's. It's almost every single time I've ever gone, it's a Philly.
See, but if I want a hot sub, I'm going to go to Penn Station. That's
Penn
my
Station.
go-to on the hot sub.
I'm just not sold on Penn Station.
See,
normally.
I rarely eat a hot sub. It's either the number 9 from Jersey Mike's or it's a gargantuan from Jimmy John's.
The gargantuan from Jimmy John's is my go-to.
Yes.
That thing
If
is
I'm
So
trying to
good.
eat quick and I'm trying to eat a lot,
A lot,
it's the gar.
yeah.
I'm going to continue our vendetta real fast. If you noticed, Subway, we didn't say your name at all during any of this.
I had
so
Subway-
you just remember that.
I had Subway door dashed to me the other day.
why would you
Gross.
ever do that?
There's so many
Do you
options.
hate yourself?
Yeah, it was. If Subway could have gotten worse, that's how to make it happen. It was terrible.
Oh, gross. Subway, we hate you.
We do not want you sponsoring us.
Do not. So dinner time. We have already gained 4 pounds today each, and it's time to go get some dinner and dessert. Nathan, where are we going?
It's going to be a surprise pick. I doubt either of you thought of it. I don't want to overstep, but I'm going with Culver's.
Oh.
Yeah, they got the
Okay.
best burger. I mean,
Their butter burgers?
I
Oh,
usually
and
get
you
a
can
mushroom
get a
and
shake?
Swiss. Yeah, you get a shake.
Oh.
Well, that's why another reason why I'm picking them is because you can get dessert, and they got some
They
great,
do have
great
some good,
ice cream.
They do have some great ice cream there.
So-
It's so good. Are you getting cheese curds or fries?
Oh, cheese curds. You always
man.
upgrade
Yeah,
the
good man,
dollar
good
or
man.
whatever
Oh
for
yeah,
cheese
for sure.
curds. So yeah,
you can't say cheese curds or fries and say anything but cheese curds. Like,
Oh man.
yeah, they got the best side, the best burgers, and the best milkshakes and dessert.
do you get marshmallow fluff in your milkshake? Because I
They
always
even
do.
offered that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
fantastic.
They just jumped up even higher. That's great.
So I have to make 2 stops real fast to complete my dinner. My dinner choice, Charlie's going to be so mad at me. I'm so excited. So for dinner, I'm going to get that to go. I'm going to get these both to go so I can have it at the house, candlelight by myself.
not with your wife and child.
This is the night they went to her parents to hang out. This is a me meal.
Yeah, very private moment.
Very fun. So first we're gonna go to Panda Express.
I don't hate Panda Express, but you're going to choose the wrong thing.
Yes, I am.
This is an argument for another day.
I am gonna go there and not get 2 items. I'm just gonna get a double helping of orange chicken and a wonderful side of their white rice. I love
Okay,
Panda Express.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying here. Per se.
Okay, that's fair.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, their orange chicken is great.
Their orange chicken's fantastic. Orange chicken is actually my favorite food just in general. Like I could eat that all the time. I had it last night.
It's a very solid meal.
It is. I had it last night. It was wonderful. Not Panda. I had bento. Delicious. But then after I pick that up, I need to then travel across the way to Five Guys and get my favorite chocolate milkshake.
I don't know if I've ever had a Five Guys shake.
It's the best fast food shake out there.
Last time I went to Five Guys, I finally got a shake there. It was chocolate as well. It was amazing.
It's an incredible milkshake. It's a perfect, not too thick, it's a wonderful, perfect milkshake. And it just will end my wonderful 19,000 calorie day.
Well, I think my dinner is going to beat out your dinner for the calories
Ooh.
because mine is going to be a deep dish pizza from Rosati's.
A whole deep dish pizza?
I mean, they could probably have a small one. I
Wait,
don't
hold
know.
on a second. This isn't fast food.
When we talked about it, he said a place where you don't sit down and eat it. It's like a pizza delivery place. Why would you not consider that fast
That's
food?
true. I'm kind of... We're going to let it go.
It's delivery
All
only.
right, we'll allow it.
It is delivery only.
That's
That's
true.
fair. That's fair.
But how
Okay,
long
okay.
between calling ahead and it being delivered?
It's not fast.
Fair enough.
And I will say, I had it for the first time during our first ever recording, and it's a spectacular
It
pizza.
was really good.
Yeah, it's a spectacular pie.
But for dessert, I had a dessert in mind before recording this. And then while we're talking about it, thought of something else. And our producer / my wife is going to freak out when she hears me say it.
Awesome.
My dessert is going to be a malt from United Dairy Farmers.
I don't know what any of this is.
What is that?
You
What
have
is
my-
that place?
UDF is a Cincinnati place, or like an Ohio place.
Okay.
Most of the time, they're attached to a gas station.
Oh, man.
I know, it sounds bad, but
The best pizza comes from a gas station.
I know what you're talking about.
One of the best
Casey's.
barbecue
Casey's,
places in
yeah.
Kansas City comes out of a gas station.
Yeah, so there you go.
so it's just like an ice cream shop
Man.
attached to a gas station, and they have the best malts. I don't care what flavor you get, honestly, but I'm partial to a blueberry malt.
Well, that sounds
Okay.
good.
Oh, man, this is wonderful.
But yeah, and they're friggin' huge, dude.
Wow.
What was your original one, just out of curiosity?
My original one was the key lime voltage from Sub-Zero ice cream.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Okay. I was really going to be upset if you went like the apple turnover from McDonald's.
Right? No, I
good,
originally had the key lime voltage in my head
Yeah.
as what I wanted to do, and then I was thinking about it while you guys were talking about, and then you talked about Culver's, Nathan, and I was like, ooh, a malt sounds good, and then I was like, ooh, a malt from UDF, ooh, yes. I've only been to UDF once. That tells you how good it is.
I need to go now. Yeah. Let's recap, Nathan. If you want to recap real fast your whole day.
Yeah, so we're getting those I don't even know what it's called. The chicken mini roll things from Chick-fil-A. I think it's the number 2. We'll just call it the number 2. Then I'm getting a cheesy gordita crunch, steak quesadilla from Taco Bell, and then closing the day with a nice butter burger, mushroom and Swiss with side of cheese curds and some delicious, whatever their dessert special is that day, I'll go with because it's usually pretty good.
Oh, man, that sounds glorious.
Yeah.
Sounds glorious. So for me, we're going to start by going to Hardee's and getting the pork chop and biscuit gravy sandwich. Just
Sounds so good.
so good. Oh my gosh. Then we're going to go for lunch. Going to take the 3-hour drive down to get some Bojangles chicken tenders, Bo rounds, and Bo sauce, and the wonderful biscuit. That's about as southern as it goes. And then we're going to have to drive back up here for some dinner. We're going to stop and get some orange chicken and rice from Panda Express, double order on the plate there, and then drive over to Five Guys and get the greatest chocolate milkshake that you're ever going to find.
Sounds delicious.
Charlie?
Mine is going to start going in the morning. Qdoba breakfast burrito, potatoes, eggs, chorizo. Get some queso in there if you want. Who knows? Then we're going to Jersey Mike's for a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, yeah.
The giant size, not the regular, because I'm a big boy.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
And then for dinner, we're getting a Rosati's deep dish pizza, Chicago style. And then for dessert, we're driving to Ohio to get a UDF, United Dairy Farmers malt.
We will have these on social media for you guys so that you can do this yourself and then send us pictures of your terrible stomach pain afterwards.
Oh, absolutely.
Just your faces of pure
Pictures of empty bottles of Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's going to be excellent. We are done chatting about food, guys. We're going to get serious for a minute. We have a lot of spooky. We have a lot of crisis going on in our nation today. So today, for the tier list, we are doing the 10 conspiracy theories, and we're basing them on how true we think they are. So, from bottom to top. So I do, again, I promise I'm going to be able to get through it this time when I read you guys the categories, okay? So here's the order which the tiers are going to be for our conspiracy theories today. So we're going to start from the bottom, of course. For the bottom one, we have Who Conjured This? Capital C-O-N. Yes, thank you. For the second one, we have Seems Awfully Fishy to Me.
You know it's good when it sends a shiver down my spine.
Third, right in the middle, is You've Conspired Me to Listen.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Yep.
boy.
This is my favorite one, okay? Second from the top, we have It Aruses Me. Wink. And no one can see us, but I actually winked when I did that. And at the top, we have It's a Grade A Plot Point. So I always end with a bad one, but that's how we are. So we are going to start. Let's go ahead and start with the Paul McCartney conspiracy. That's me.
No, that's actually
No,
me.
that's Nathan. Nathan's going to
But
talk
are we
about
going
that.
to talk about what we're doing?
Oh, yeah. So, sorry about that. So, the way we're going to rank them is based on believability. So, on the bottom is ones that are just completely outlandish. If you believe in this, that's your fault. If it's near the top, something that could be super believable, we're going to rank it up there. And we're only going to tell you about 2 or 3 sentences on what it is, just kind of a brief synopsis. If you really want to dive deep into what these theories are, there's other podcasts out there. There's, what's it called? The Internet?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's called Google.
Google. Go to Ask Jeeves and
Bing.com.
The official search engine of Three Guys Walk Into a Bar is Ask Jeeves.
yeah, text Cha-Cha and see and look some of this stuff up. So we're gonna get back to this here. So we're gonna start with the Paul McCartney conspiracy theory. So Nathan, what is this one?
Yeah, so real quick, basically the conspiracy theory goes that Paul McCartney died in the 60s in a car crash, and to save the public from grief, the band and even the government helped cover up that Paul was dead by replacing him with a winner of a Paul McCartney lookalike contest named Billy Shears, who is referenced in the song Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. One of the biggest pieces of evidence is on the cover of Abbey Road, where Paul McCartney is walking barefoot out of step. You can look up more specifics about it, but it basically means that Paul is dead, and Paul's been dead.
I like dead celebrity conspiracy theories, like Tupac and people of that nature. The reason that this one is so low for me, and even though I know the Beatles were broken up way back then, is if they let Paul McCartney live on through another person, why didn't they do the same for John Lennon when he was killed in 1980?
That's a good point.
I mean, because the Beatles were still the Beatles. This was before Sgt. Pepper. This is before I Am a Walrus and stuff like that. They're later, trippy stuff.
But before The Octopus's Garden? The greatest of Beatles songs?
That's a stretch there.
See, I like this conspiracy theory on its own, but in terms of its believability, the part that gets me and where it's not believable is the fact that they covered it up to save the public from grief. That's the cited reason that they covered it up, and I just was like, they don't give a shit about the public.
Because I had to make it a list and put a top of my list, bottom of my list, because I didn't believe any of these theories.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
It's middle of the list for me.
I'm similar where I had it kind of in the middle because I'm thinking in my head, back in the day, you could get away with so much. This is, I get it, the 60s, DNA and all that still, it was much farther than it is, before that. But you could still get away because there's not the internet. There wasn't, outlets everywhere monitoring everyone.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves.
There's no Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves started in 1970. So, yeah. But, yeah, so, the idea that it could have happened, sure. Not buying it, though, because why would this guy go on to create a singles career as Paul McCartney with Wings?
Right.
If you're doubling as Paul McCartney, wouldn't you too? Why not?
Cash in.
Why not?
Cash in.
Marrying supermodels and everything. This is the greatest contest I've ever watched.
So where are we putting this one?
For me, you've conspired me to listen, leaning down towards Scheme's awfully fishy.
Compared to some of the other ones, I'm going conspired, right in the middle.
Yeah, compared to some of the other ones, absolutely. I'm going middle of the road.
Next, we're going to go with the Roswell UFOs. So, Charlie, give us a brief idea.
The Roswell, it's pretty straightforward. People thinking, in 1947, an Air Force balloon crashed in the area, and people believed that it was a UFO, and that 2 alien bodies were found, and the government covered it up and is now
Area 51
hiding evidence of aliens existing.
This is the third dumbest thing on our list.
Really? You're going that low?
I put it higher on my list because it was... I'm one of the people who is like, okay, well, there's no proof aliens don't exist. Mm-hmm. So, the cover-up, yes, I don't necessarily believe. But the possibility of extraterrestrial contact.
So
there.
I'm more on the idea of there's probably these microorganisms out there in the universe, but the idea of the actual aliens that are kind of pictured when it comes to the Roswell,
the big green men.
Yeah,
Little
that
green
one
men.
is just completely no, I'm just not buying it.
See, but everything that Charlie just said, I double because there's got to be who's to say that there's not with the how big the universe is.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
There's no way that there's not other life, and they might be just tiny little microorganisms, but at the same time, who's to say that they're not green Martian
I
men?
can't.
Exactly.
It's not like I can sit here and argue and be like, nope, it doesn't.
They're right. Yeah, we don't know.
I can't do that.
That's why compared to the other ones on this list for me,
Yeah,
I put it higher.
I put it high too.
So, does it aruse you?
You bet it aruses me.
Oh, it aruses me.
All right, it's gonna go to it aruses me. Wink. The next one we are gonna have, I'll talk to you guys about it here, is the another fake death, and this is of legendary con man John Dillinger. So the story is he was shot and killed in an alley in the 1930s here in Indiana. But the story is when the autopsy report found him, it was actually a person who was terminally ill, and the eye color was very different from Dillinger. And then in 1960, a person wrote to a local newspaper that he's actually still John Dillinger, he's alive, and that he's just been living out his entire life in the 1900s.
Wow.
Huh.
I like it. That sounds pretty solid.
I like it too. It even before hearing your explanation of it, I had it as number 2 on my list.
Like a gangster faking his death? Yeah, of course he would.
Yeah.
I'm 100%. Like, to me, this is the second most believable one. Only because I'm like, number one, it was the 30s. So
Right.
he could have done anything to make, he could have paid anyone to, he had enough money.
Oh yeah.
He had enough money. He could have made anyone just pay for them. Like, hey, they're going to kill you here. You're about to die anyway. Here's a little bit of money for your family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go live off my life elsewhere. I mean, this dude carved a potato to look like a handgun to escape jail one time. And you're telling me he can't fake this?
I hadn't heard that story, but that's awesome.
That's real. Yeah, that's awesome. It's true. And so that's why I especially for
that must
the
have
time,
been a big potato.
I know. I'm trying to
Right?
figure out. I mean, it's just a. I don't know what guns looked like back then. I honestly don't.
It's like a big revolver or something.
Right, that's what I'm thinking,
That's
like-
huge.
Any kind of I mean,
That's impressive.
even
That's a
any, even the
McAllister
smallest
Spud.
pistol
Honestly,
I can think of.
he should have just quit crime and just become a woodworker, and I'm sure he'd have
There
made
you
a lot
go.
of money.
There you go.
McAllister's spuds are that big. That's what he got. But for me, I actually put it at the very top, where grade A plot point.
Yeah, I like
I would
it.
put it up there too.
Awesome.
It's a grade A plus.
Ooh, I like it. This next one is so stupid, but I'm curious, and this is about the British family being werewolves.
So this one's an interesting theory, and it all centers around what's considered the royal disease, which is hemophilia. The royal family, or at least Queen Victoria, had hemophilia, and her children had hemophilia. But hemophilia is an inherited disease, and it wasn't inherited from either of her parents. It just appeared one day. And so the theory is that it was a werewolf bite, and she became a
You
werewolf.
lost me. You had me.
Right?
You lost me.
Right? And she became a werewolf and bit her children to make them werewolves. I mean, it's there's like evidence around it saying, well, they love hunting. They could easily schedule their movements around the moon because they're very, very private people, and they schedule things way in advance, and could easily say, hey, well, let's not do anything around the full moon because we're werewolves.
If anyone could cover up the fact that they're a werewolf, it's probably them.
It's the royal family.
That being said, no chance in hell.
If I were a werewolf, I'd be doing the Teen Wolf thing and surfing on top of vans.
Oh, you
driving through-
betcha.
And they're wasting their talents running a country?
Yeah.
I'm not buying any of that.
The
Sorry.
era of the wolf.
I'm not buying. This is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Compared to some of these other ones on the list.
Oh, there's one more. There's one more we're going to get to. But for this one, who conjured this?
Yeah, who conjured this?
Yes.
BS.
I'm not positive who conjured it. I don't have a definite where this theory started.
So dumb. We're gonna move on here. That's so I want this one.
Where did we put that? You put that.
Who conjured this?
You thought it was
Yeah.
a serious question. I knew you were answering. You're like, I have no idea who conjured this up. No, that's where we put it.
At the bottom of who conjured this?
Oh man.
Uh,
I didn't hear your emphasis on the con.
I apologize. The capital C-O-N in my inflection. That's my fault. That's my fault. So this next one, so I watched the Da Vinci Code for the very first time last night in my life. I've never seen it.
You and your watching movies really late.
That's what I do. So I'm excited for the second one that we're going to watch, Angels and Demons, later this week, which is about the next thing, the Illuminati. So I'm very excited about this.
Which, I mean, everyone listening probably has already heard of the Illuminati. Just real quick, though, they were, founded a long time ago, and it's just basically this secret organization filled with the most powerful people in the world, like Beyonce, that have been, like, putting secret messages in their pieces of, like, the all-seeing eye on the back of the dollar bill, stuff like that. But, yeah, they basically control anything and everything.
I buy this. I don't buy that it exists anymore, but I buy that there was a period of time as our country and the bigger nations were just really trying to decide, like, who's powerful for this, especially when they're coming up with trade and just the way the world's going to work. I buy 100% that this did exist at one point in time.
I mean, this was number 4 on my list. So
The way that you described it, Rob, just sounds like the United Nations.
Oh, man.
Do we just
Did we just
crack
do
the
something?
case?
Is the UN the Illuminati?
Oh my gosh.
Does UN stand for Illuminati?
That's the worst one joke. That's an awful joke. That's worse than my puns.
See, this one's a little low for me though, but I mean,
So I don't think it exists anymore.
Yeah.
I don't buy anymore because I feel like now it is what it is. But I feel like at one time, I mean, especially when like there's like a way less of a communication barrier between everyone going on and the internet and things of that nature. I feel like at one time, especially in like the 1800s, I think it existed. Like I would not say no.
Secret society, yeah. I mean,
yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Like the Masons, things of that nature.
Yeah, the Freemasons.
Yeah. Again, not the top, but
No.
So what are we thinking?
You've conspired me to listen.
Yeah,
Or-
I'd throw it there.
That's fair.
Does it aruse you?
I'm
It
not
doesn't
very.
matter.
I'm not very aroused right now.
Okay.
We were both going there.
Conspired me to listen. Fair enough. We next one here. This is like a personal. Like I love. 1960s U.S. history for me is like super fascinating. Such a crazy. I feel like we're in that moment again. I feel it's right now in our time. But this is the JFK assassination of the conspiracy theory that there were two gunmen. So, of course, Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested, and then he ended up getting killed later that day. But the theory is that there was a second gunman based on the trajectory of the bullets that were hit. And so what happened was, if you ever like look at the video, there's video of it. There's a wonderful movie just called JFK that you should just watch in general. It's like 3 hours, but it's worth it. But essentially, they call it the magic bullet theory because the way that the bullet would have to travel is odd right angles, and then you also see JFK when it gets shot from behind and then automatically takes a whiplash going backwards, so it gives the sign that there is another bullet hitting him from the front. So that's why you hear jokes all the time of I'm the second gunman on the grassy knoll. So that's that conspiracy theory. That
Gunman
there
on
were
the
two,
grass, yeah.
Didn't the Mythbusters do something with this?
I think they did.
Rest in peace, one of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know,
Grant
Imahara.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Sad day. Anyway, that is not a conspiracy.
No,
He
he
Big rest
died.
in peace, though.
Yeah, I think they did. I don't remember the results of it, but I think they did do an episode where at least part of it was about the JFK assassination, but I can't remember.
All I'm saying is that I think it's very possible.
I think it is too. So I'll let you guys dive deeper into it. But essentially, there was a giant mob, Cuban workforce related whole theory behind it. Personally, I definitely think that Lee Harvey Oswald was actually supposed to be the fall guy. And I think that the reason they had him shot from up there and they had the other guy over there was because they were going to let that guy get away. And Oswald was supposed to take the whole brunt of it all. So me personally, I put it at the top, but I will also, if you want to just have it aruse you a little bit.
I had it number 3 on my list, so
Okay.
I'll go It Aruses Me.
I'm grade A plot point. Nathan?
Oh man, I hate being the tiebreaker. I'm gonna go aroused though.
Just a wee bit aroused.
I'm fairly aroused, but not enough to where it's a grade A.
So many
Are you tired of us saying aroused yet?
Yes. Everyone here knows that Marilyn Monroe was also aroused by JFK.
Oh God,
It's very true.
That is very true. We're gonna get
stupid.
So we're gonna go next to the moon landing conspiracy theory.
I mean, again, another pretty simple one. Moon landing conspiracy theory is about how NASA faked the moon landing, and just there is a lack of evidence to it. But people are just saying, "Oh, we faked it. There was a green screen," and the first few missions to the moon weren't real, and then when we actually walked on the moon, it was absolutely faked. And that one, for me, it just didn't hit a chord for me.
I recently just watched a show on Netflix. I forget what it was called, but they talked about how Russia was so far ahead of the U.S. when it came to just space travel and the things they accomplished first. I mean, America really got its first big tally when it landed on the moon. So the idea that like we faked it so that we could seem that we were getting ahead of Russia makes sense to me. But in saying that, that's all those people. There's evidence. We have rocks.
The
we have
amount of
things.
people that it would take to fake that one specific thing
And have it not
is is numbered out. Like there's people who have numbered it out to about 41,000 people who would have to hold that secret in.
So is it similar to like the amount of people that would have to fake an entire global pandemic?
Are we getting into this?
No, we're not going to get into this. Sorry. So Nathan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's complete BS. This I know for a fact there was a Mythbusters episode on it, and they busted every single conspiracy theory about it. This one, who conspired this?
Who? Yeah.
Right. Other than the Russia's beating us thing, who cares?
Right.
Moon landing is on par with the British royal family being werewolves.
Yeah.
Everyone. I want everyone to know that right now. And here's the dumbest one yet. This is the reptilian conspiracy theory. It is the idea that a reptilian alien life form has taken over bodies of the higher-ups in the U.S. and the world government, and they are controlling the entire society and government, all based on using these bodies and running the entire world, essentially.
So
they're changelings.
Yeah, so basically the lizard Illuminati.
This makes no sense.
This is the dumbest thing ever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have anything much to
Nope.
say on it. It's just
Who
stupid.
conspired this?
Yeah.
No, who?
It's
who
like
conjured
Who
this?
conjured this?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
who conjured?
I worked hard on those.
I feel like down there in the same vein would be like flat Earth.
Oh, I didn't even want to think about flat
I
Earth
know,
on this.
because it's not even
Oh gosh.
worth arguing.
Kyrie Irving, if you're listening, it's round. It's round, okay?
You should know this.
So next one, total sad left turn here. We are going to talk about 9/11.
Basically, a bunch of people. I just need to pause. I am literally saying this. I haven't brought this up all podcast, but every single episode that we record, I am forced to stare at a giant mural of the Twin Towers. You can tell by people laughing in the background that it is true, and I just want to say it's just a major downer that I felt like I needed to bring up. So I say this conspiracy theory with a heavy heart as I'm looking directly at the Twin Towers. Basically, the people think that the United States government wanted to give the American citizens a reason to, man, this is tough, reason to go to war. And so they just basically fake 9/11 themselves. The United States government, it was an inside job that they themselves were the supposed terrorists that crashed into the Twin Towers. The main theory behind it is that they say that jet fuel can't melt steel beams or whatever they say, but I'm just going to say this now.
I don't think we even need to give it more time a day.
It's insulting, to be quite
Yeah.
honest. So it's at the very bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. If we could put it farther down below that list, I think it
Yeah.
would be lower than
Right.
the royal family being
I
werewolves.
believe werewolves more than I believe that this, yeah.
So if you really want to dive into that, you can watch Fahrenheit 9/11, Michael Moore.
Yeah.
The Michael Moore documentary. So that you can watch that if you want. He does make compelling arguments, things of that nature. But at the same time, I was like, the idea of I shouldn't say this now, but the idea of a president sacrificing American lives. Oh, I shouldn't say that right now.
It's a harsh topic.
Boy, howdy.
Oh,
This
boy.
is- oh, gosh. To do something, I guess, sacrificing American lives to do something is just baffling to
Yeah.
me. But I guess we live where we do now.
Yep.
Anywho.
Okay, so the next one here this is our last one. This is the FDA conspiracy theory. So what it is the idea that our highest officials from the FDA actually have the cure for a lot of our diseases, such as like AIDS and cancer and things of that nature. But they withhold that to keep the idea of when these people get sick, they can keep drug prices higher, they can keep medical stuff higher. So it's just a giant profiting scheme to where they have stuff to make you feel better that could cure stuff you have, but they want to keep that to themselves so that money.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one that I just don't believe.
I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a second. I don't believe it. However, people are definitely greedy enough. If they were that powerful,
the greed in
that
the
is
world,
exactly
I get,
what they
yes.
would do. I think it's quite possible, to be honest.
I don't want
like middle.
I don't want to think that it's even remotely
Right. I wouldn't either. but-
Honestly, this one is right above 9/11 for me at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
I wish I could be with you guys on this one. But I'm similar to him, where the amount of greedy people that are out there that are running a lot of this stuff, and when they sit there and try to make arguments on why insulin should be so expensive when it's been the same damn thing for so
look
long.
what they're doing with the windows open, let alone behind closed doors.
Yeah. So,
I mean, like I said, I get what you're saying. I think I put it so low on my list because it just seems so awful to believe.
I want to put it lower because I'm very sad that we haven't had anything in my second favorite pun of "schemes awfully fishy to me."
I think it's perfect for that.
That's
then.
good though. Yeah, schemes
let's-
awfully fishy to me.
Let's get it some action.
So that we're gonna do a brief run through real fast. So at the bottom there of who conjured this, we have the reptilian theory. We have the British family are werewolves. We have the 9/11 theory, and then the moon landing fake. Up there we have schemes awfully fishy is the FDA has cure for cancer and AIDS and diseases of that nature. In the middle for You've Conspired Me to Listen, we have the fake death of Paul McCartney and also the Illuminati existing. Above that for It Aruses Me, wink, we have the JFK second gunman theory as well as Roswell aliens, how it's that high compared to some of the others. And then at the very top we have grade A plot point is the fake death of John Dillinger. We're going to end this show with Nathan here going on to Cocktail of the Week here. Nathan, what do we got today?
So this is like a vanilla creamsicle drink. Comes from my girlfriend Brianna. You want to take a double rocks glass, muddle an orange with about a half ounce of simple syrup in there. Just add some ice. Pour in about 1.5 ounces of vanilla vodka, half an ounce of peach schnapps, and then top with both OJ and Sprite. And then just give it a quick stir, and you're good to go.
Sounds delicious.
All right, so thank you for listening. I don't think we say this enough. Really, thank you for listening. Shout out to all you guys. We'll be back next week with another episode. And as always, bars closed.